confusion at airports around the country. You probably know about this after a federal judge struck down the federal mask mandate this week, dropping the requirement to wear a face covering. But there are still some airports that say you need to mask up in order to comply with local regulations. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez breaks down the latest.
So many travelers across the country tossing the masks.
I think it's wonderful. In fact, I'm ecstatic.
But now the Department of Justice saying not so fast, confirming it will appeal a federal judge's ruling to strike down the mask mandate if the CDC believes that mandate is still necessary. The CDC saying that it recommends masks during travel and that it will assess the need for a mask requirement.
Roll away your mask in the blue bag.
In the meantime, passengers left to weigh the risks. Are you going to wear a mask on the plane, or are you going to keep it off?
I'm probably going to keep it off, but just kind of check things out. If someone's coughing, maybe I'll put it on, but otherwise I'll keep it off.
All right, so it's situational for you.
Right.
But there's major confusion, especially in New York. You can fly without a mask in and out of New York's LaGuardia and Kennedy airports, but you'll need to put it on while walking through the airport. There are 2 of only 3 airports in the country requiring masks, including Philadelphia. Uber and Lyft also lifting that mask mandate, and some parents whose children aren't eligible for a vaccine also concerned.
My wife, who's pregnant, and my 4-year-old daughter, who's not yet old enough to be vaccinated, flew out to California thinking that the mask mandates would be in effect on both legs of our trips. And halfway through, it's going to be a different situation.
And now infection rates climbing across 33 states and territories, driven by the new Omicron subvariant BA.2.12.1, which could be about 25% more contagious than BA.2. But even with the confusion and concern, excitement is high for the spring and summer travel season, airline stocks soaring upon news of the mandate being lifted.
And Gio joins me now for more on this. Gio, it has been confusing, and having just flown 14 hours or whatever out from Europe last week, wearing a mask the whole time, plus the layover, it was pretty grim. Yet there are still local mandates. People are confused. So what is the process here? How do people know when and where to wear a mask?
So look, Terry, it really is confusing. And you know this, I've spent the past 2 days now at Newark, and I've witnessed, the news came out the next morning. I saw maybe half the people still wearing the mask, half not. By the end of the day that day, the overwhelming majority, I would say something like 85% of people did not have the mask on. But you go across town to JFK or LaGuardia, and it's a different story, because now you're being told that there you actually do have to wear the mask. In Philadelphia, you do have to wear the mask. But I got to tell you, I have a friend who just landed from LA in Philadelphia, and she called me, she sent me a video, and behind her, you just see all these people walking around without a mask, even though there's a mask mandate in place. But what I can tell you, Terry, is right now in this country, only 3 airports have that mask mandate: JFK, LaGuardia in New York, and also Philadelphia.
All right, well, that's good to remember. Now, let's go to the other end. People arriving in the country from overseas, as I did last week out of Poland, and I needed a negative test to present before I was able to board the airplane. Is that still happening? What are the travel advisories for people?
We've been asking this question, and we just don't know at this point when the U.S. government is going to get rid of that testing requirement, saying that you need that negative test a day before you arrive back into the country. But this is something the airlines are pushing for. They want to get rid of this, and a lot of people are saying, look, with all of these other requirements taken away, it's time to get rid of that. And the reason why critics are trying to get rid of it is that you see a lot of families, for example, who may go away on vacation. Maybe it's the first vacation they take in the pandemic. They go away on vacation, and then all of a sudden, someone in the family tests positive, and now they have to pay to quarantine and stay in the country longer before they come back to the U.S. So there's a lot of questions about that. We still don't know when we are getting rid of that, if that's something that they're even considering at this point. But Terry, I can tell you, the airlines do want that gone.
For sure, it does make a huge difference just to smooth travel, although maybe travel has changed post-pandemic. We'll find out. So the Department of Justice still considering an appeal to this ruling by the federal judge in Florida. She ruled that the CDC, in imposing a mask mandate on the entire country, exceeded its statutory authority, that Congress should pass laws like this for national impact. Is the Biden administration going to appeal? What do you know about that?
So here's what we know. The Department of Justice actually said late last night, they said, you know what, we will appeal this decision if and only if the CDC says that this mandate is still necessary. And if the CDC comes back to DOJ and says, okay, we believe, based on what we're looking at with this rise in cases, that this mandate is necessary, then they will go ahead and appeal the ruling. But, you know, this is something the CDC had been looking at, that rise in cases, and they were worried about it, and they asked for a 2-week extension because of that. So this mandate was supposed to expire, unless there was another extension, on May 3rd. So we will see. We don't know at this point what the CDC will decide or even when they will decide that.
And you've got to think, don't you, Gio, that the White House is also looking at the polls. People really want to get back to normal life. As I say, normal life may have changed.
And I can tell you, Terry, when you're looking around, a lot of people, and I got to tell you, it doesn't seem to matter what their political beliefs are. When I was at Newark today, a lot of people on both sides of the aisle were very happy to take that mask off. So it really is a tough political challenge for this administration.
It for sure is. Gio, thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.